His second game, the margin for error is going to become less. He's got the big horses in front of him. Walter Ray Williams Jr. is his opponent, the defending champion.
All right. That would have been a strike Murray Schwartz would have loved, and he saw so many of them with us right here on the tour. Now, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the star.
Yes.
That one a little.
You bet, Chris. As you see his style, he caught a little extra on this shot as you see him wrap his arm swing slightly behind his back, and he realigns it right in here. You saw that little wrap around. Now watch the loft. Chris, you picked it right up. He snapped it a little extra, the grimace in the face, and he sent it wide. That's that last-minute instinct that he has going right now, which makes him the #1 in the world today.
Up high and leaving the 6-10 on the left lane of this championship pair.
You see the ball drifting high. He expected this ball to set up in the pocket. He told us before we went on the air that the left lane, which is 3 in this auditorium, hooks a little bit more. I think he was surprised by that shot. He'll have to make a little adjustment.
Drummer and bass player of the Central High School Jazz Band are having a lot of fun after the shots here. They're up in the balcony. You hear them during our commercial, as we go into our commercial breaks. Now Brad Snell, second frame.
A little tug on that one for Brad. The first match he opened with 6 strikes in a row. This match he started off with a strike, and he leaves himself a tough spare. He needs to get to the left with the 2-pin, let the ball deflect into the 4-7, take it out like this. A little tougher for a left-hander than it is a right-hander.
Yes, tomorrow here on ABC it begins with exciting National Hockey League action. Live coverage of these regional matchups start at 1 p.m., 12 noon Central and Pacific. Then, defending champion Dave Johnson, along with an elite field of the world's best athletes, battle for the crown in the Jeep Superstars. All tomorrow, ABC Sports. Who just joined us, Brad Snell defeated Dave Arnold in the first match, 235 to 195, earning the right to meet the number 3 seed, 34-year-old Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, Walter showing a little bit of pressure there, Chris. He just kind of chunked that shot. Watch this side from the style. Walter just kind of lets his shoulders drop too far forward and just chunks the ball out there with not his usual lift. It sails by the head pin. He avoids the 2-4-5-8 and leaves the simple 2-pin.
He won the Showboat in Las Vegas this year. Last year he won 7 titles. Player of the Year honors his second. He was 4th, Johnny Petraglia, to Johnny Petraglia in the PBA National Championship in Toledo.
Walter, 15 wins, 8 losses in the championship round with a .239 average in 1993.
And they dance off the synthetic deck. We're in the lake city of Erie. There is a revitalization going on in the downtown area here with the Discovery Square project. $2 million of state funding will go to the Erie Art Museum, Children's Museum, and the Erie County Historical Society. Here's one of the 4 blocks being redeveloped.
A very expensive maker of lawn tractors likes to say, bowling's premier events. It's the second jewel in their Triple Crown, the U.S. Open next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
Ah, yes, back to the Detroit area next week. And right there's that Central High School Jazz Band. Mr. Lute is the director. These kids are wonderful, and the ambiance here is magnificent. I wish we could bottle it and take it with us. Erie Civic Center. Deadeye's #1 fan. Okay, I believe you. He's resting now while Brad Snell, his opponent, is up and has the strike working. He can take a 9-pin lead. the story, Nelson.
Chris, that was his best shot of the match, even of the day, right there. He just threw a double right in there, smacked it. He's put it on Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a double here, opens an 11-pin lead. And there's a fundamental that Brad Snell does so well in the sport of bowling. It's simply this. The lower you get with your shoulders and your back over your knees, the less you have time to squeeze the bowling ball.
It's always pretty tempting to me to cheat him 2 pins, wouldn't it? And now it's 21. Deadeye is up with a strike working, shooting in the 5th frame. Okay, here comes again our interviewer, Maria Sansone.
What's it like being the father on a PBA tour?
Well, there's there's good and bad. You have to leave your wife and kids and come out here and bowl. But they're home waiting for me. I'm going to be flying home tonight, and it's always nice when you get to go home and see them.
Will the large crowd affect your game today?
I don't think so. I think it's going to pump me up. These guys are really into it, and I love to entertain.
Thanks a lot.
Someday in her field, she's going to be as great as this man in bowling.
Walter's got some terrific breaks here on the left-hand lane. In the 4th frame, he just nicked the head pin for a wall shot strike. Here in the 6th frame, he goes high, he trips out to 4, 7, 10, and he likes it. "16-foot approaches here.
Okay, the battle is on. Brad Snell and Walter Ray Williams Jr.
One thing we have to watch for in this arena setting, these are new lanes just installed yesterday, and the oil or lane conditioner may move around a little bit, and you're seeing more balls drift high as the day goes on. It's very warm in here, so the players have to be conscious of that and maybe make slight adjustments with their feet or with the ball speed.
Yes, the setting is different. The last time we had the arena setting was 22 years ago at the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden, when Don Johnson won. And there's a fact, more than 110 million people bowl annually in more than 80 countries around. Yes, happy holidays, happy Easter, happy Passover. The bunnies are here too. And 4,200 bowling fans watching the player of the year, Walter Ray Williams Jr., trailing by 21. He can cut it to 11. 3-bagger, shooting in the 7th.
I think Walter Ray is quite surprised that the ball didn't finish there. That's his patented shot, is when he tries to get up and wind up on it, and we could snap back to overpower the pins. It doesn't come far enough back, and he leaves the 2-pin. He's now trailing by 22.
So he'll try to get back in that pocket on the left side. And there you see the difference, and you see the score sheets. We mentioned 22 years ago at Felt Forum in an arena setting like this, and earlier than that in Mobile, Alabama.
Drilled that one in the pocket.
That was precision by Deadeye, his best shot of the day, and he needs to get some strikes to start squeezing Brad Snell. It now becomes match game competition. Snell with a 22-pin lead can extend to 32, 8th frame.
2-4-7 on the right lane for the man that won the first game, 235 to 195.
Snell reaches back for a little extra to try to answer Walter Ray, and he snaps it high, leaving the 2-4-7. The second time he's left that on this lane. Changes to a ball that slides a little bit more. He'll go cross lane, trying to deflect the 2 into the 4, into the 7.
Chink in the armor. 4-7, chopping the 2. Bo.
Chris, that opens it up for Walter Ray. No matter what happens now, Brad Snell cannot shut out Walter Ray. He not only loses count on the first ball in a double, but then when he plucks the 2 off the 4, he actually loses 2 more pins in count because he was working on the double. The best Snell can do is 243. Deadeye sitting on the bench can still get 248. 2 frames to go. It's up for grabs.
Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports presents the pairs competition from the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions. Plus, yes, high-flying action from Slovenia, the World Ski Flying Championships. And then from Florida, the World High Diving Championships, all Wide World. Walter Ray doubling, leading by 5.
Well, it ain't pretty, but Walter's getting the job done. He's been all over the pocket except in the 8th frame. He's had nothing but good things happen for him, and now as he stands on the approach, he's in a position to get 2 strikes in 6 and lock up the match, and I think he's zeroed on this lane. He performed perfectly in the 8th.
2 strikes in 6. Did I get this?
Twice Player of the Year. 1986 again last year. 14 titles, 14 years a pro. 5 times World Horseshoe Pitching Champion.
Chris, I bowl with this man a lot, and he bowls for the fun of the action, the competition. Sure, he's making the big bucks. He probably made over $500,000 with a bowling ball last year, but he does it for the fun of the action. And this is the big shot. This is what he lives for, right here.
And Bo, to further back that up, he'll go out and pitch in a World Horseshoe Championship for a few $100s. This man loves competition. Physics major at Cal Poly, Pomona. Incredible young man.
6 count on this ball. Walter Ray will shut out Brad Snell and set up a match in the semifinal between 2 of the greatest bowlers of this decade, Brian Boss and Walter Ray Williams Jr. Here we go.
It's our team.
My goodness, a 248. This week, Choice Hotels Tip of the Week takes a look at a physical change in the sport, and it comes from